Today we'll be going over the truth about Forged in the Fire. Forged in Fire is all about the art of blade making, and I'm totally obsessed with it. The Forged in the Fire set is very loud, fulfilling the promise of its name. The Brooklyn studio where they film history's bladesmithing competition reality show contains both forges and fire. Lots of fire. Sparks fly off grinders, flame balloons out of quench oil. Flames casually spill out the sides of forges, and little fires constantly break out and recede every time a bladesmith drops metal on the floor. 4 contestants, all white men from various parts of rural America, work in a panic sweat to complete this episode's first challenge, making a functional blade out of a rusted old car. With only 3 hours to spare, forging a knife usually takes days, so this is no small feat, or hand. The judges coolly observe the action away from the cameras, occasionally returning to their designated seats at the judging table to film their commentary. For a show centered on making deadly weapons, everyone on Forged in the Fire is awfully nice. Eve, he's about to quench. You don't want to miss this, says Will Willis, the host of the show who can only be described as a hunk. Willis is the only member of the cast who isn't a blade expert of sorts. He spent 14 and a half years in the armed forces before hosting television shows. Even though he didn't know much about bladesmithing before he began working on the show, which is now in its 4th season, he's learning how to smith himself. During a break from shooting, Willis proudly shows me a knife he forged as a gift for his son's high school graduation as he asked Judge Jay Nielsen and David Baker for advice on how to address some problematic blade areas. Forged in Fire isn't about the contestants or even the judges. It's about knives, swords, and how to make them. Similar to Food Network's perpetual hit sensation Chopped, it's allergic to the human drama that made the reality shows of the early aughts so enthralling. Forged in Fire is about one thing and one thing only, the art of the blade. Forged in Fire is the second most popular nonfiction show on history, with 1.1 million adults ages 25 to 54 and 988,000 between the ages of 18 to 49 tuning into its 4th season. But I came to the set of Forged in Fire for one simple reason. I frickin' love knives. I don't look like someone with a sustained interest in blades. I'm a young man, born and bred in New York City, with spindly long arms that seem too weak to wield a sword. I own a katana though, so I'm working on it.
On the horizontal slice, it pretty much cut all the way through. This, sir, will kill.
The interesting part of it is the weapon's entirely steel.
Ed, I want to be able to chop a car in half with this thing.
Well, Jared, every facet and design of your blade will definitely do that. Well, Chris, it cut 2 sugar canes, will cause maximum damage in the battlefield.
Produce a Viking axe, I'm gonna come back with a badass one.
Edge held, half is still secure.
I'm gonna make a 7-layer bar. I always make a 7-layer bar for this.
Until February of this year when I stumbled upon Forged in Fire while channel surfing at a hotel, I didn't think much about knives, but as soon as I began watching the show, I fell in love. There's something uniquely relaxing and intellectually exciting about watching bladesmiths work as they transform a piece of metal into a functional tool, an ancient craft that is the bedrock of society. I have a pipe dream of abandoning my writing career and retiring in the middle of nowhere so I can make knives. Right now I spend my days slumped over a computer, staring at a screen that delivers me with an endless stream of political horrors I'm somehow supposed to make sense of, and running away from society to make things with my hands would be good for me. My sword-making aspirations exist only in the fantasy world, especially now that I've watched every episode of Forged in Fire and understand how difficult and strenuous the process is. Each episode separated into 3 challenges, each ending in a contestant elimination. First, contestants have to create a fully functional blade within specific parameters in an impossibly short amount of time. Then they have to attach a handle to their blade, test it for strength, durability, and sharpness. Finally, the 2 remaining contestants return home to forge an iconic sword from history in 5 days, the winner taking home a $10,000 check.
But that's alright. Hush.